Hey Divi Nation, welcome to this next Divi Use Case live stream. And today I'm going to be showing you how you can use Divi to create different color scheme mockups for your pages. And to do this, I'll be using Divi's built-in features like color suggestions and find and replace. And then I'm going to use that to create different color schemes for the Business Coach homepage layout. And that's from the layout pack that was just released yesterday. And hopefully we'll learn a few tricks along the way. And don't forget to check out the video description for a link to the blog post that goes along with this use case. And if you don't have Divi yet, go ahead and check out. There's a link in the video description to our product page as well. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear, everyone. If you can hear me and things are looking good on your end, just give me a thumbs up. Also, please be sure to say hello, say where you're from. Always love to see all the different places that you're from while we're doing these live streams. Also, please be sure to ask any questions that you may have. Any question at all related to Divi and how things work as we go along the way. All right, looking good. Thanks, Latoya, for that update. All right, got a lot of thumbs up on Facebook. Welcome, everyone. Okay. Hello, Dwayne from Dallas, Texas, not too far from where I am currently, which is Conroe next to Houston. So, all right. Looking good, everyone. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do is just kind of give you a little sneak peek of what we're going to be doing today. And the idea behind this is, of course, to create some color schemes for different pages. And this would be helpful for you personally when you're building out the site, just to kind of, have a nice way to preview different colors for these pages to settle on a color scheme for your website. It also would be useful for showing clients different versions if you feel the need to do that. And this is kind of the default. This is actually the default layout for the Business Coach homepage, and this is how it looks. It kind of comes with this nice blue color used throughout. It's a fairly simple color scheme. It's got the blue, some light grays. Looks nice and clean. And as you can see, the blue is consistent throughout the entire page here. And using some wonderful magic with Divi's color suggestions, and also the find and replace feature, which I'll show you. You can actually update all these colors throughout the entire page fairly easily in order to deploy some different color schemes that you can look at. For example, if I click on this brown version here, you can see it can easily update all those colors for you to kind of get a different look. I've also have a little purple version here, and these colors are actually not random. They are all complementary colors and analogous colors that were suggested using Divi's color suggestion, which is available in the Visual Builder. And there's a multicolor version here as well, which I'm going to show you how you can actually update colors kind of on a section by section basis. So this is a nice, really dark blue here for the header. And then I've updated this to be the brown, to have that brown color here. There's a nice blue color for this section. As you can see, there's just different colors used throughout, just to give you an example of how you can easily do that with the Divi Builder. So that's kind of where we're going. And so let's go ahead and get started first by creating a new page. So this is actually where you're going to deploy your business coach homepage layout. And so I'm going to go to pages and then add new. Just going to give this a title, and then I'm going to use the Divi or the visual builder. So click to use the Divi builder, and then I'm going to click use visual builder. All right, so this is going to prompt me with 3 options regarding how I want to go about building my page. I could build from scratch, choose a pre-made layout, or clone an existing page. I'm going to choose a pre-made layout because that's what we want to do. And go ahead. And what this does is bring me to the load from library pop-up here. And by default, the pre-made layouts tab is selected. So all I need to do is scroll down and find the business coach layout pack, which is right down here. And I'm going to select it. I'm going to use the home page. So I'm going to select it here on the right. And then I'm going to click use this layout. So simple enough so far. All right, so once it's loaded onto your page, now we can actually, what we're going to do is the next step really is to settle on a new color palette. And this is important, obviously, when building a new website. You want to establish a color palette. Maybe your company already has a branding or brand color palette already you can use, but if you're kind of wanting to test the waters a bit and see how certain color palettes fit, you have 2 options. One is to use a third-party color palette generator, and they have some good ones out there. You can actually look in the blog post in the video description for a link. And in the article, I list out some good ones just to, let's see, color. I think it's, yeah. This one, coolers.co, is a nice, I think it's open source, free to use. And you can generate a nice color palette that way. And it's real simple to use. You just generate new ones by pressing the space bar, and you can lock some colors that you like in. And as you refresh, it'll show you different versions. And then at that point, you would just copy the color code and then update and use that to update your color palette in Divi. So that's a good option, but you can also actually use Divi's color suggestions as well, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. All right, so am I with everyone so far? Hopefully you understand what in the world I'm doing. Yes, Uncle Social said Coolers is his favorite. Really is a good tool. Let's see, Tom Crawford says, I hope this tutorial will be posted for viewing later. Yes, it will be. So make sure you check it out later. Hope it will be helpful for you. All right. All right, great. Looking good so far, everyone. Again, don't be afraid to post any questions. And actually, if you are just joining us, I do want to welcome you to this week's Divi Use Case live stream. And today, I'm actually showing you how you can use Divi to create different color scheme mockups for your pages. And to do this, I'm using Divi's built-in features like color suggestions and find and replace. And I'm going to be using the Business Coach homepage layout to do all of this. And you can access this layout for free directly from the Divi Builder. And please be sure to check the video description for a link to our blog post that goes along with it. And don't forget to check out Divi if you haven't already. I've included a link to our product page. So let's go ahead and get back to it, everyone. This is the, again, the layout pack, the Business Coach homepage layout pack. And so the goal here, I just showed you how you can use third-party color palette generators to get your color palette that you like. But you can actually go into Divi, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm actually going to just click to open up. Actually, the goal here is to kind of identify what this blue color is. And to do that it's easy. Just go into the settings here, and these little helpful icons that will help you find this button text options in the settings a lot faster. Just click on, oops. Let's see. Actually accidentally dragged something there. Okay, so if I hover over and just click it, it'll find that option for me really quickly. And as you can see over here in the full width header settings, the button 1 text color is what I'm looking for. And this is the color, Divi's color manager here. It has some recent updates, fairly recent, and it has this option to show your saved colors. And this actually is pulling from your colors that you have set in the color palette in your theme options. Now you might be wondering, that doesn't look like yours. Well, that's because I've already updated my default color palette with some new colors. And just to remind you where that actually is, I'm going to go over to my dashboard here, and I'm going to go to theme options. So under theme options, general tab, you can see your color picker's default palette right here. You can see you can, if you don't know this already, you can actually change those. And once you do, any page that you create will adopt that new color palette within the Visual Builder or Builder settings modals here. So that's what we're going to do to make it a whole lot more convenient going forward to have all of those colors from our color palette ready to go. But when you're first starting out, you won't have that. You'll just have some default colors, but that's okay because you can also visit recent colors that you've saved within your settings as well. So if I toggle recent, you'll see all of the different colors I've used throughout my design process of building out the page and things like that. So these will be somewhat randomized depending on the last color you've saved in your settings. So it's just a helpful option to quickly locate the most recent color you used. All right, so if I toggle this Colorscape icon here, which this does this little magical extending of all the colors in the color palette. And what you'll see, just to kind of give you a brief overview, this is actually, this top row is based on the color that you currently have selected in the button 1 text color option. So as you can see, if I change that color by selecting a new one, it will generate a, let me open that back up, a new color palette based on that primary color you have selected. So let's go ahead and click the undo button to get my original color back. And so what you see here, actually this color is actually the second one on my top row. So this top row of complementary and analogous colors are directly related to this color here, the primary one that's been selected. All right, so what are all these other colors? Well, all of these colors below are as you can see, I have my saved colors selected. So this is actually all of the, let's go and toggle back here. See, all of these colors that are saved in my color picker default setting, this will actually basically become a one column with expanded colors for each one of these. And that's why the helpful kind of, I forget what it's called, the micro animation of this icon. When it opens it up, it kind of shows you that it's, it's kind of swinging it down to make all of my default colors here on the left with an expanded suggested palette that goes along with that color, that specific color in my saved settings. So I hope I've explained that somewhat correctly and helpful for you. But that's what all these colors are for. If I go to my most recent colors, you'll see that that's what that's doing as well for my recent colors. It'll just fan out my recent colors here, but that top row is the main one we're concerned with because that is related to this blue color here. All right, so I could go ahead and, explore and find new colors if I wanted to, but for this example, I'm gonna keep things simple. I'm gonna use the color palette that is suggested based on this nice blue default color. So basically what I wanna do now is take each one of these colors and save those to my theme options. Now, unfortunately, there is no quick and easy way to do this. And I'm sure we'll get some updates later on to kind of help with that process. But you can either just hover over it and, open up your theme options in a different tab and then just hover over it and then copy it over manually if you want. Or you could go through the process of clicking this one, opening it up, and then copying it, the color code, going to theme options, clicking your color there, and then pasting that color in there. Then you would go back, press the undo button to get your original color back, fan open your settings here, get the next color, it would be this one, and then continue that process. It's helpful to press the undo button to get the original color back there so you can see the same colors listed in the top row. And then once you have all of your colors over there, one helpful tip, by the way, is to, you may want to leave your black and white colors in the default color palette just because you may need that, for quick updates to backgrounds and things like that, or text. But if you need all the slots, feel free to fill them up. You can always manually add a white color if you like. So as you can see, I've actually included about, 6 colors from my 8 that I have to choose from here into my default color palette. Now, one thing you need to be aware of, that whenever you update your default color palette, if you the page that I already have deployed will by default inherit the old one. So you'd have to create a new page to go ahead and see the new, or have access to that default color palette within the options there, which actually really isn't that hard. You can just clone the page or whatever it is you need to do. If you wanted to use this page with the default color palette, we actually don't need to do that. Another option is to go ahead and go to your, I'm going to close this out. You can go open up your settings down here in the Visual Builder, go to your page settings. Under your design tab, you actually have the option of creating a custom color palette for this specific page. And if you do that, you will see the that color palette, or the default color palette, change within the page. You don't have to create a new page or anything like that to see the results. But so you could choose to do it on a page by page basis. And again, the reason why you want to update the default color palette, and you'll see this as we go along, it just makes things a whole lot more convenient for you to have those colors right there whenever you're doing your find and replace functions and things like that. All right, so All right, so I'm looking at the comments here. Looking good so far. Monique says the suggested colors in the color palette are very helpful. Saves time. Yes, it does. And I find them very, very helpful for just the creative process, for helping that process and just kind of seeing what colors work well together. And Uncle Social asks if all Americans pronounce hover as hover, or is it a regional accent? I don't know about all Americans. I do. I say hover. Good question. He also says, I recommend keeping black and white simply because it makes it faster to grab grays, which is also helpful. So thanks for that. Okay. All right, so at this point, the goal here is to update your default color palette with the new colors that you have generated from your color suggestions within the Visual Builder. All right, so I'm going to save that out. And now the next step is I'm going to go back into my full width header settings, find my button 1 text color, and then I'm going to open up my Colorscape here, my color suggestions, my color palettes, and again, this top row here is the one I'm looking at. And if you have updated your default color palette, but you're not seeing it under your saved yet, that's okay. At this point, you can just use the one that is generated for the primary color, and then click this brown, this dark brown color here. So actually, I got ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and press the undo button. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to hover over it and right click on this blue color, and then I'm going to click find and replace. Okay. I apologize again. All right. I'm going to back up one more time. Scratch what you just saw. This is the way that you do it if you do not have the default color palette. All right. So you click on the blue color here to get the Colorscape, and then you're going to select the blue color, and then you're going to open it up and you're going to copy the color code. Because what we want to do is create a brown color scheme for this page. So I need that color. All right. Then I'm going to press undo to get my blue back. Then I'm going to right click on the blue because this is the one I need to find and replace. That's very important. I'm going to click find and replace. And now the find and replace modal has popped up. And I'm going to want to find this blue color. And I'm going to want to find it within this page. So I'm actually going to search throughout the whole page for this color. I'm going to replace it with, and I'm going to open up that one and put in my brown color there. So as you can see, if you do have your default color palette updated, that brown color will be there ready for you, and you don't have to worry about that copying and pasting process. And also very important here, I want to click the replace all option, and this will replace basically all of the values with that button color. So basically it'll search throughout your whole page, and anything with that color, it doesn't matter what if it's a section background or a specific header text color, it doesn't matter. It's going to search throughout the whole page and update that color, or excuse me, replace that blue color with the brown. All right, if I don't select the replace all, basically what that's going to do is only replace the button 1 text color or other button 1 text colors throughout the whole page with the brown. So it's limiting it to just the button 1 text color. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to replace all of those colors. And then click Replace. As you can see in the preview there, it magically updates all those blues with the brown. And it does that really easily and quickly. One thing you definitely don't want to forget to do is click Save, because you need to save those changes. If you exit out, it's just going to revert back to the blue. So definitely want to save those changes. All right. And if you haven't already, go ahead and publish your page. And that is how we would create a simple brown color scheme for this layout. All right, so I'm actually going to save this new brown layout to my library so that I can use it to create new pages later on. So to do that, I'm going to go to my settings menu down here and click the Save to Library icon. I'm going to call this one brown, and then I'm going to save it to my library. All right, so now I'm going to go and create a new page. And actually, this one's going to be purple. So I'm just going to name it purple. And then I'm going to click to use my visual builder. I'm going to click choose a pre-made layout again. And then I'm going to actually click on the Your Saved Layouts icon tab up there. Then I'm going to click the brown layout that I just created. And that'll be deployed to my new page. At this point, if you've updated your default palette in the theme options, it will now be available on this new page, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, if you have updated your color palette on the previous page settings, then you will need to do the same thing for this page if you want to have access to that color palette. Hence the reason why I updated the one in theme options so that I'll have it on all pages going forward. All right. So this is my new page. I'm going to actually go in here to the same button 1 text color to get my color there. Let's hover over it, find it. As you can see now it's brown, but I have my saved color palette there. I'm going to right click on the brown color and click Find and Replace. I also want to replace this brown color throughout the whole page. I'm going to click Replace With. Now I have my color palette ready to choose my new color. I'm going to use this purple one here. Then I'm going to replace all of my values with that color and then click Replace. And as you can see, really easily, I have just deployed a completely new color scheme for this page. I'm going to publish it. And I'm going to create a new page. And before I do, I just want to make sure and see if you have any questions that may need answering or comments. Yes, okay. Uncle Social says this website needs more brown. Said no one ever. Yes, I went back and forth on whether or not I should include a brown layout, but hey, it's just a mock-up. All right, so looking good so far in the comments. If you're just joining us, I do want to welcome you to this week's Divi Use Case live stream. And I am showing you how you can create or use Divi to create different color scheme mockups for your pages. And you can access the layout pack I'm using, the Business Coach layout pack from the Divi Builder. It's free for you to use. So, and also I want you to check out the video description for a link to the use case blog post. And if you don't have a copy of Divi yet, go ahead and check out a link to our product page as well. So I just wanted to welcome you. We're almost done. Let's go ahead and get back to it. The last page I'm going to create is a multicolor version. Just call it multicolor. And then I'm going to deploy the visual builder again. I'm going to choose a pre-made layout. Actually going to click my saved layouts tab again and deploy my brown layout again. And with my new default color palette in place, it will be easy for me to now update different this current page with different colors per section. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's go click on my full width header settings, and then I'm going to find my button color there again. You're not limited to only finding that color there. You can actually find it in the background gradient or somewhere else on the page. I'm just settling on that one spot for this use case. As long as it's the right color, you can use it to find and replace it with any other color. All right, but in this specific example, you definitely want to find a color within this specific section because we want to update this brown color for this specific section. So you're definitely going to want to choose a color value within that section. So I'm going to right click on the button 1 text color just like we've been doing. I'm going to click find and replace, and this time I'm going to actually choose under the within option there, I'm going to choose within this section. So I'm going to limit it to that section, but I am going to replace it with, let's see, this real, it's kind of nice dark blue there, almost dark gray. Then I'm going to click the replace all again, and then I'm going to click the replace button. And as you can see, it's updated all the colors for this specific section. The ones, the sections down here have not been affected by the change. I'm going to save it so that those changes take effect. And then I'm going to skip this section. Let's leave that one as brown, but let's update this one here. Again, I want to find a color, that brown color within this section. So I'm just going to actually go to this button here. Go to my button settings, and there it is. It's, right there. I'm just going to click on that brown background color and click find and replace. I'm going to choose this section because I want to replace all those brown colors within that section. And let's replace it with this blue color here. Click replace all and then click the replace button. And you can see I've added a blue color scheme for that specific section. Save it out. And you can continue this process to add elements to your color scheme, or to your layout as you see fit. I'm not going to do all of those, but you get the idea. It's actually a pretty quick process once you have everything up and running. And then after that, you can go ahead and go to your appearance tab and go to menus. Then you can, all those pages that you created with your different color schemes, you can actually create a new menu with those colors as the name for, for convenience. And then select the display location as primary menu. That will make your main menu something like this above, where you can toggle through the different color schemes to make it easy to make your final selection on the perfect color scheme for your website. All right, that about does it. Let's go ahead and do one quick check in the comments, see if we have any questions. Looking good so far. All right. Well, I hope this was hopeful. I hope this was helpful. for everyone. And I'm just going to go ahead and close it out. I do want to thank you guys, and that's all I have for this video today. Please be sure to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And keep an eye out for our next live stream, which is going to be this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's This Week in WordPress. And we'll be back here next Tuesday with another Divi Use Case live stream. So go ahead and check that out. Also, if you want to share your own knowledge, your expertise, and your skills, you can actually check out the video description below for a chance to, or more information on how you can contribute to the Elegant Themes blog with your own unique content. So don't forget to check that out. Thanks again, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.